Hello everyone, this is Henna Spirit, my first centre out design, and I wanted to show you the first 5 rows so you can get to grips with the corners in particular. So this is what the ribbon pattern looks like. It looks very busy for the first 4 rows because I've explained a lot of stuff in the first 4 rows as well, but it's just normal as the pattern goes on. This is what the chart looks like, the first 5 rows. There's your magic ring. You'll be doing 8 single crochet into that magic ring. These are your corners. They're in bold to make them stand out, so you know there's only 1 stitch in that row, for instance, and 3 in that row. In the blue is where you're going to start each row. The normal C is the normal corners, which is single crochet, chain 1, single crochet. BC are your big corners, which is double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. If there's a double crochet as the first stitch of your big corner row, it goes into that chain stitch, but I'll be showing you anyway. All the darker rows are where you're going to use your darker colour, your contrasting colour, detailed coloured yarn, but I'm going to explain everything as we go along. So we'll start. This is my background coloured row. We're going to start with a magic ring. So we start with the yarn like this, hold it with your thumb and make a cross, and then pull it round to the top, and then we're going to put a hook in there and pull this yarn through, twist, and then grab the yarn again and pull it through the loop, hopefully. Start again. It can be tricky. Cross over the top, pull it through, grab that yarn again and pull it through to make a loop, and then let go, and there is your magic ring. We're going to do 8 single crochet into this ring. This is tricky as well. 1, you can put a stitch marker in that first stitch if you need to. 2, 3, 4, fiddly, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right. Pull that end tight to bring it all together. Pull it round to the back. Take your loop off the hook. That's the scary bit. Now you have to find the first single crochet that you did. Now you'll have a stitch marker in it if you're unsure, but I know this is my first single crochet that I did. So I put it through both loops from the back to the front with your yarn to the back of your work. Grab that loop and pull it through to the back. There you go. Now we're staying with the same yarn for row 1. So row 1 starts with a corner. So we're going to chain 1 actually, if I haven't already done it. No, I haven't. Have I? No. Right. So we're going to start with the corner. So we go into that stitch, single crochet, chain 1, back in for another single crochet. That is your first corner. The only stitch for this row is a single crochet. So the next stitch you do a single crochet, then corner again. So the next stitch we do a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, I don't want to do these too tight, because when I do them too tight, it can be hard to get into for the next round. So we've done the corner. Now just a normal single crochet. Now a corner again, single crochet, chain one, single crochet back into the same stitch. Now the only stitch of the side, single crochet. Now corner, single crochet, chain one, single crochet. Now the only stitch left of this side is a single crochet, and then you've done. Now you have to yarn at the back of your work, take the hook off the loop, find your first single crochet. That was my first corner. So there was my first single crochet, chain one, single crochet. So it's that one there that we need to get into both loops of that stitch. We're going to grab the loop, pull it a little bit tight and pull it through to the back. There, that's the first row. Now we're going to grab the contrasting coloured yarn. Can get a bit fiddly now. We are going to join, pull that yarn a little bit tight and pull it over the front of your work before you do your slip stitch to join. It just makes it the yarn exactly where you need it. Now, don't worry about it being loose, it'll be okay. Now, the corner, that was my corner, so this is my chain stitch. There, they'll become more apparent as you go on. We're doing a normal corner, so I carried that yarn as you saw as well. Let me do it again. Start again. So that was my corner. So that was my single crochet, single crochet. This is my chain stitch, and I'm going to carry that yarn. So I go in, I'm carrying the yarn up. There's first single crochet of the corner. Move that yarn out the way. We're going to chain and then go back into the same stitch. Don't carry the yarn now for your second single crochet of the corner. So we can move that yarn out the way now. Now this row is 3 single crochet. Nice and easy. 1, 2, 3 single crochet. Now a corner again, back loop only, as with all mosaic crochet, chain 1, single crochet. That's your second corner. Back loop, 3 single crochet, 1, 2, 3 single crochet. Now corner again, back loop, single crochet, chain 1, back into the same stitch, single crochet. Now 3 single crochet, 1, 2, 3 single crochet. Now corner again, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet. Now we've got 3 single crochet left. Got 1, 2. The third one can be bent forwards, so bend your work back, find that back loop and then do the single crochet into it. There. take the hook off the loop, find your first stitch that you did. That was my corner, that was my second single crochet chain stitch, so there is my first single crochet that I did of the round. Get into both loops of that stitch, grab the yarn, pull it a little bit and pull it through to the back. Lovely. Now we'll move them other tails out the way. They won't be a problem later on, those tails. We're going to get the contrasting coloured yarn, slip, look at the back of your work and pull that one that you've just been using a little bit tight. Then pull it around the front before you do your slip stitch. It brings the yarn up to where you need it. This is your first big corner, right? So I can see that those 3 stitches here, here and there were my corner stitches from the same colour of the previous row. Now you need to find this one is your front stitch of your chain. You need to go into that one, and you've already yarned over, yarn over again, you're doing a double crochet, yarn over again and stop halfway through your double crochet, because what you want to do is bring this detail colour over the top before you finish off that double crochet. It raises up that coloured yarn to use later on. It makes it easier. So you've done your first double crochet of your big corner. Now you can arrange your yarn, move that one out the way. Now chain 1, don't worry about that other yarn, it'll just pull it, give it a tug. You've chained 1. Now you're doing your second double crochet of the corner into the same chain stitch, front loop chain stitch, the same one. You do your second double crochet and that's your big corner done. Now the first stitch of this side is a double crochet. It's 2 double crochet, single crochet, 2 double crochet. The first one always goes into the corner, if I can find it. It always goes into the corner chain. So back into that corner chain, double crochet, and then the next one's a double crochet there. I, for some reason, always go into both loops of my work for double crochets. It just makes my work a bit neater. Although it never looks neat, really, the start of a centre out design for me. But anyway, there's your 2 double crochet that you've done. That was your corner, 1, 2. There's your first 2 double crochet. Now you do a single crochet and then you do 2 more double crochets. So there's 1, and the second one goes into the corner chain. You'll have to move your work out the way. This stitch here, this front loop, is your corner chain that you're going to be working for the whole corner. So you go in there, you do your double crochet, and that's that side done. Now you're doing your big corner. So you go back into the same loop and do your DC chain and back in for your second DC for your big corner. This hides the other contrasting coloured yarn in the corner. And that's your corner done. Now you're doing 2 double crochet. The first one goes back into that corner chain, and the second one is in the next stitch. Now it's just a single crochet. Make sure I've got the right place. They can look hidden in mosaic crochet, as you know. Now, single crochet. It twists. Sorry, double crochet, not single crochet. Double crochet, and then the second double crochet goes into the corner chain. Did you see how I had to move that stitch then, because it looks hidden? This is your corner, front loop corner chain stitch. So the second double crochet goes into that, and that's that corner done. You've got your 2DC, single crochet, 2DC. Now you do your corner, which is into the same stitch as you did your last double crochet. So you're doing double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, and that's your corner done. Now your side, again, 2 double crochet. So your first one goes into that corner chain, and second one into the next stitch. Really tricky when you first start a centre out design. It gets so much easier as it goes along. Now move your yarn out the way, your stitches out the way. There's your single crochet. Now double crochet, and your second double crochet is in your corner chain. Move things out the way. There is your front loop of your corner chain. There are your stitches for that side. Now you're doing your big corner into the same stitch. Just grab that front loop. That's your first double crochet, chain 1, second double crochet. Now again, we've got 2 double crochet for this side. So your first one goes into the corner stitch, 1, second one into the next stitch, hopefully that's okay there. Yeah, there. Now single crochet. You can look like you've got too many stitches on this last bit, but just trust your judgment, because it looks like I have got more stitches there than I should, but you've done your single crochet. Now there is where your first double crochet should go. It looks like I've got too many stitches. It always happens to me with on this row of the centre out designs, but don't worry about it. And then the last one goes into the corner chain stitch, and that's your last double crochet of that row, and that's it. So now we find the first stitch that we did. I can see it's this one. This is the first double crochet that I did. Both loops, the yarn's at the back of my work. Pick up that loop and pull it through to the back. Lovely. Now we're going to grab the detail coloured yarn. We are going to pull that white a little bit tight, pull it around the front of our work before we do that chain stitch. Now this row is pretty easy row. It's a normal corner, so I can see that there was my double crochet, there's my chain, there's my double crochet. It gets easier to see as you go along. So we know this stitch here is my chain corner stitch. I've carried that yarn, the background coloured yarn, single crochet. Now chain 1, move it to the back, that yarn, back in, the same stitch for a single crochet. Lovely. Move that yarn out the way. Now this row is just 7 single crochet, nice and easy. So the next stitch, on normal corners, there's no going back into the corner chain. Normal corners, just carry on. So we've done the first single crochet, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now it's the corner, normal corner, so single crochet, chain 1, back in, single crochet. Now 7 single crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now normal corner, back loop, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet. Now 7 single crochet again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Normal corner, back loop, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet. And now just 7 single crochet. You can slow the video down on YouTube if you feel you need, especially with the beginning and the big corners. I think you just click on the screen to pause it, and there's little icons at the top or something that you can slow it down. Just so you know. Make sure you get all these stitches. Some can look really small and you can easily miss them. So that was my corner. So I've done 2, 4, 5, 6. Now remember this last stitch, don't forget it, but it always is at the front of your work. There it is. There's number 7. So now the first stitch that I did, there's the 3. So it's 1, 2, 3. So it's this little one here that I've got to get in. It's easier to see as you're going along, as you get used to seeing it. Practice. There we go. Yarn's at the back of my work. Pull it a little bit tight. Get the right colour. There you go. And pull it through to the back. Now grab the detail coloured yarn, look at the back of your work, pull it a bit tight, pull it round the front before you secure with a chain. Right, big corner. Right, there was my 3 that was my double crochet, that was my double crochet. So in between there is my chain stitch, and that's what you want the front loop of. So I yarned over, this is a double crochet, yarn over again, stop halfway through, because we're going to grab that other colour just across the front, yarn over, pull through to finish off your double crochet. So that's that done. Now we're going to chain one, we're going to finish that corner with the double crochet, move that other yarn out the way, and this is your double crochet corner, big corner finished. There. Now 3 double crochet for row 5, 3 double crochet to start with. So the first one goes into the corner chain, back into the same stitch for your first double crochet of the row. The second one is the next stitch along. There you go. Third one is the next stitch along. And then we have a single crochet. Move your work aside so you don't go into the wrong stitch. We have a double crochet, and a single crochet, and then 3 double crochet. So there's the first one, 1, this one's number 2, and the third one goes into that corner chain. So move your work out the way. You can see that it's here, there, the front loop of it. And this is where you do your last double crochet of that side. Now you're doing your corner, which goes into the same stitch, your big corner, which is double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, that's it. Now sometimes even with the normal corner, the first stitch is a double crochet, so you've done single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, and the first stitch after that is a double crochet. You still go into that corner chain, so just so you know, you still do that. So that's your corner. Now we've got 3 double crochet, so the first one, is in that corner chain, so we've got 4 stitches in that now, right? And then the second one in the next stitch, double crochet, third one in the next stitch. Now a single crochet, double crochet, next stitch, which is above that single crochet, and then a single crochet for your next stitch. Now 3 double crochets, 1, 2, third one into the corner chain, which is directly above that little hole, make sure you only get the front loop of that one, always, for the big corners. So you finished that side. Now you're doing your big corner. So the first double crochet, chain 1, second double crochet into this corner stitch. Now you've got your 3 double crochet again for the next side. The first one goes into the corner chain. Second one into the next stitch. Third one into the next stitch. And then we've got a single crochet. Just make sure you know where you are now. Move your work out the way so you're getting it into the correct stitch. Single crochet, double crochet, single crochet. Now 3 double crochet. As you go along, your work will stop moving around as much. It'll be much heavier, it will become, and easier to work with. That's why I say, you know, practice this bit, because it's tricky. I mean, it's even tricky for me, and I've done the whole blanket. Third double crochet goes into this front loop of this corner chain. That's the third double crochet of the row. That's that row done. Now, corner, double crochet, chain 1, yeah, chained 1, double crochet. That's that corner done. Oops. And now we first double crochet of the row, side goes into the corner chain. The second one goes into the next stitch. Third one in the next stitch. There. And then we need a single crochet, which is there. Can look hidden. Be careful. Double crochet there. And then another single crochet. Always looks a bit strange. Yeah, there. Now 3 double crochet. This is the first one. Second one is here. And then the third one, don't forget the third one, it goes into that corner chain. There, lovely. You've got your yarn at the back of your work. The first double crochet that you did, that was your second one, that was your chain. This is your first one that you did. So both hooks, both loops even. Grab the yarn, grab the loop, pull it a little bit through to the back. There you go. First 5 rows of Henna Spirit. I hope that I've made that clear enough for you. any questions, please ask in my group or messenger me or email me. So thank you for watching. Bye.